Welcome to Heal the New Sex, where we discuss all things healing, self-love, and relationships. My name is Cynthia. I am a licensed therapist and coach. Today I'm going to talk about why you can't manipulate a man into a relationship or marriage by being a good woman. Now, you may say, Cynthia, what are you talking about? But I have counseled and coached many women who thought if they performed and did all of these things, that it would change his mind about relationship or it change his mind about marriage. And that's farthest from the truth. In the society we live in, many women believe that if I'm the perfect woman, that will guarantee me love. And that's just the farthest from the truth. You don't have to be perfect in order to be loved, right? There may be some internal beliefs about love and about yourself that you have to address. But I want to stay on task today. So I'm going to give a brief overview of what I'm going to discuss today. I'm looking down because I have notes. So first, I'm going to talk about the good woman myth. I'm going to talk about why this strategy fails. And I don't think many women are intentional. I don't think many women believe that they're being manipulative when they're trying to be a good woman to get commitment. But I'm going to talk to you today about why that's problematic. And I'm also going to talk to you about the dangers of over-investing and what actually leads to a healthy commitment. So you're going to want to make sure that you watch this video from beginning to end, and also be sure to comment, like, and if you're new here, subscribe. So let's talk about the good woman myth. You know, in society, there are characteristics that, you know, they expect every woman to have, right? They expect her to be nurturing, patient, loyal, supportive to a fault. They really expect you to overgive, right? In dating, they expect you to overgive. Many of us were raised that if you want to be in a relationship, or, you know, just if you're going to get married, you need to be able to cook, you need to be clean, you need to submit, you need to be able to do all of these things so that you could be in a relationship. But in my teaching, I did 2 videos on why every woman should date selfishly, and you should watch that. I talk about how you should have your mindset should be as relates to dating. Your dating experience shouldn't be one of labor, right? Many women are in relationships and they're just giving and giving and giving and giving of their emotional labor and of their physical labor. And they feel like they have to perform that way in order to have a relationship. And that's the same for a woman who a man may have been very clear that he didn't want a relationship or anything serious, or he's been vague about it, but she feels, okay, if I do this, if I do that, then he's going to want to be in a relationship with me. If I get close to his family and friends, if I support his business venture, if I support him when he has getting his dissertation, if I hold him down while he's in jail or prison, he's going to want to marry me. He's going to want to be with me. But that really, really is going to backfire. I want you to understand that just because you meet every need of a man doesn't mean that he's going to commit. It doesn't mean that he's going to see your worth. I forget the video I did, but one lady commented on how she was cooking and cleaning and working, and she was, you know, giving porn star sex. And guess what that man was doing? He was just taking and taking and taking and taking, because these type of men are going to take from you. If you want to perform, an unhealthy man is going to allow you to perform, because we have to understand that men know who's the one versus women who aren't the one. And they will allow you to be a placeholder. A video I'm going to do that you want to stay tuned for is, what if he gives her everything that I asked for? I think many women, especially who fall into the trap of I need to perform and I need to be a good woman in order for him to choose me, they're really concerned that if I do all of this for him, you know, I don't want to leave, because if he changes his mind, the next woman is going to benefit from the work that I have been giving. And the truth is, you are performing and showing up in the relationship in an unhealthy way. You are setting yourself up to be taken advantage of. And I hope that you hear me, okay? Because there's some changes that you need to make in your relationship and also dating, all right? So let's talk about how this strategy fails. Commitment is a choice. It's not a reward for good behavior. And many of us engage in this performance because we want to be rewarded. I talk about often how it's almost like for women, we need the validation and affirmation of having a man, and that does something to our worth and how we view and see ourselves, versus you knowing what your worth is and your value as a single woman. You know, You're a movement, like Neil said, you're a movement by yourself. We ain't worried about the force yet, but you're a movement by yourself. You have to understand your significance, your purpose, and your worth. A relationship is not a commitment, is not a reward for you engaging in all this performance, right? You done got close to his mama, you picking up his kids for the holidays so that he can have them, or when you guys live together, so you get up in the morning and cooking breakfast for his children. You're engaging in all of this physical and emotional labor, and he has not committed to you. Or you could be in a relationship, but he hasn't married you, and you're waiting like, I hope he's going to marry me. Like, when is he going to marry me? Like, in relationship, the timeline should be very clear. It should be like crystal, Swarovski crystal, the best kind. It should be that clear. You should be around hoping that one day he's going to wake up and marry you and see your value and your worth. Commitment is a choice. And if he hasn't committed to you, he's making the decision not to commit to you. Now, the question is, why are you making the decision to stay with a man who's making the decision not to commit to you? You also have to understand the difference between a man being grateful for your efforts versus genuinely desiring to build a life with you. Just because he's thankful, oh baby, thank you, or thank you, or thank you, and he's kind, doesn't mean that he desires to build a life with you. Those two things look very different. If he's showing that he's grateful, but he's not making any steps to move forward with you, then guess what? He doesn't want to build a life with you. Building a life requires two people being intentional about bringing everything that they have together to move forward. If he's not doing that and you feel drained, you feel like he's taken from you, you feel like he doesn't value you, he's just grateful for what you do for him. And he's more concerned about what you do for him versus building something worth meaning, okay? And building a life for you. I think we've seen numerous times in social media women who quote unquote have done everything right and still weren't chosen. I know that we've seen women who, I used to love watching wrestling growing up, okay? Now, I haven't watched the storyline, but I remember John Cena was dating one of the Bella twins, I think it was. And I remember she wanted to have a kid and he didn't. And all the years she stayed with him. And guess what? They ended up breaking up. He ended up marrying someone else and he still doesn't have any children. Why? Because he was very clear about that. But if you think that you can convince a man to do something he doesn't want to do, it's not going to happen. You probably got a homegirl right now that's in a relationship with a man or in a situation with him. He's told her either verbally or through his behavior, he doesn't want a relationship or he doesn't want to get married. Or let me say this, maybe they're engaged, but they've been engaged 5-10 years. Come on now. What are we doing? So he's just wasting her time. We've seen too many examples of women being good women, dating a man, and guess what? He not being serious about her. All right? I don't want that to happen to you. If you're in this situation, let me do a plug here. If you're in this situation and you need coaching, I want you to click the link down below in the description, okay? Now let's talk about the dangers of overinvesting. You have to understand that the emotional, the mental, and even the financial toll that trying to prove your worth will do to you. There was a video I was watching, it was a podcast, and this lady the man was talking about, like, you know, there have been times where, you know, she held me down. If I needed something, she gave it to me. And it was like she gave him large quantities of money. But after a while, if you are just doing this because you want the relationship seems to be the carrot for you, you are going to struggle in your confidence and your self-esteem and your worth because you keep pouring out, but he's not pouring into you. When we are in a healthy relationship where both partners have selected each other, because chosen doesn't sound really good right there, have selected each other, we are both pouring into each other. He pours into you and you pour into him, not you giving and performing, okay? there can be a cycle of you feeling unappreciated and then also being resentful. This could lead to you feeling a contempt. This can lead to you feeling like you're being taken advantage of, because you're like, he knows I want to be married. He knows I want to be in a relationship. I've had his children. I've done this. We've bought a house together. I moved across the country for him. I did. You start listing off all the sacrifices that you did. Meanwhile, he has been very clear. You can't, let me tell you something. You can't, and a man told me this. You cannot change your heart. You cannot change, forgive me, you cannot change a man's heart about you. He said, I don't care how good the sex is. I don't care how good the cleaning is, the cooking. I don't care about none of that. You cannot change a man's heart. Now, there's some women who are like, well, I did, but I'm going to question that. I am. Okay. So if you keep engaging in this, you're going to become resentful. And that's going to lead to toxicity and dysfunction in the relationship. When you engage in this performance of feeling like you have to be a good woman and do all of these things for a man, it's going to lead to you attracting users instead of partners. Because there are some men that will take from you, but they'll never commit to you. And you won't know the difference because they show up the same. So you have to understand, you have to be protective, I'm going to keep saying this, of your emotional and your physical labor. You have to be protective of that until you're in a relationship, and I'm going to say this, moving towards marriage, and you have a clear timeline of how things are going. And if some way the timeline changes or whatever, again, you come back to the table, because what you don't want to do is waste your life with a man that has no true intention of committing to you. You have to address this belief, okay? This mindset of I got to show up like this, I got to do this in order for him to commit to me, will cause you to be in unhealthy, one-sided relationships, in relationships where you are the only one giving. He doesn't have to give. One thing I teach women all the time is that you teach people how to treat you. If you teach people, and I mean your family, your friends, the people at work, your man, that you're going to be there and you're going to give your all and you're going to give everything and you're going to show up for everybody, and no, it's okay, you don't have to show up for me. Oh, it's okay. Oh, da, da, da. Guess what? You are going to be drained and you're going to be depleted because you're pouring into everybody else and nobody's pouring into you. And then you're going to get resentful because you're going to be tired. You're going to be tired. You're going to feel like people are stealing from you because you're really giving what you don't have. But it started off giving because you want to prove, oh, I could be, oh, let me say this. Oh, this just came to me. Let me say something else. You should never be trying to compete with another woman that he was with. Don't let no man come into your life talking to you about his ex. And so you're like, oh, I'm going to prove to him that I'm better than her. And then that he'll commit to me or he'll marry me. He'll change his mind. Don't do that. Because years down the road, you're going to be upset. Years down the road, he told you, I'm not going to have any more children. I have children. And you're like, I can change his mind. Or he's telling you, I'm not going to be, I can change his mind. I just know that he had a bad experience with those other women. But once I prove to him, that I'm different, he going to change his mind. His mama just told me yesterday, girl, I don't know why he hasn't married you yet. I've been telling him, and it's blowing your head up. And then years later, you still in the same situation and you looking at him like, why are you doing this to me? Because you can't manipulate him to change his mind. All right. So let's talk about what leads to a healthy commitment. A man commits because he sees you as the one for him, not because of what you do. Some of the happiest and healthy relationships that I've seen are two people who have a genuine friendship and they see each other as equals, and they've made a commitment to take care of each other. One person didn't perform for the other. They just realized there were things that they had in common, values they had in common, and they really loved and enjoyed each other. She wasn't cooking and cleaning. He wasn't doing all that. They didn't perform in order to be together. He saw her worth, she saw his worth, and they made the decision to be together. It's important that you stand in your own power and you have your own standards. You should know what you need, want, and desire in a relationship. And this type of relationship is very one-sided. It's you as the woman performing. He doesn't have to, because he knows she wants the relationship. And so it's the carrot that he's holding, like dance, you know what I'm saying? And you doing a jig, right? Listen, you get to choose who you are in relationship with. You get to choose, you have a say. So you need to move from the I perform for a relationship to I get to select who I want to commit myself to. And I'm not going to wait for a man to commit to me. If he can't see the value of who I am as a woman, then this is not the relationship that I want to be in. This is not the space or place for me. Okay? It's so important that you know that your self-worth and your self-respect will attract the right partner and also repel the wrong ones. So often I hear women feeling like they're asking for too much. Again, I said this in one video. I forget what video it was. But I said, a man will see a Porsche. He will get the manual for the Porsche. He will read the manual of the Porsche. And everything that manual says for that man to do to take care of the car, he'll do it. Meanwhile, he'll look you in your face and gaslight you and tell you asking for too much. And you done drunk that Kool-Aid and believed it. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You're not asking for too much. You are the manual as relates to how you need to be taken care of. You are. So don't feel like you're asking for too much. Your self-worth, self-respect, and how you value yourself, you teach people that. And then when they show up in a relationship, they have one or two choices. Either you're going to treat me the way I've taught you, or we're going to end it. That's it. But when you accept less, you'll get less. All right? So don't be upset when you walk into your self-worth and your self-value and certain men decide, no, you're doing too much, I'm not going to do that. You say, you know what? I thank you so much. It was nice getting to know you. Best wishes. Okay? You need to shift from proving to choosing. Okay? There's nothing for you to prove. You don't have to prove that you know how to cook and you know how to clean and you don't have to prove anything to anyone. Just like getting to know a friend, anybody who's my friend, there was nothing that they had to prove to me for me to love them, for me to see their worth and their value. You have to realize that you don't have to prove anything to a man. Now, in this society, because we live in a misogynistic society, there's a lot of stuff out there that there are some men that's going to make you feel like you have to prove it. Avoid that. Avoid that, man, because if you are proving it in dating, you're going to be proving it for the rest of your life and you're not going to be satisfied, okay? Because he is not going to be able to really commit to you in a way that your soul needs and desires. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, but if you don't take anything from this, I want you to take this. You do not have to act or prove or do anything to be in a happy and healthy relationship. Right? Relationships take two people that made the decision that they're going to commit to each other. Relationships take two people who are going to pour into each other. If you feel like you got to be this good woman, now I'm not saying don't be a good woman in your relationship, but what I'm saying is if you're turning it on to be performative in the relationship, it's not going to go well. You're going to attract men that are takers. You're going to attract men that are going to be toxic and abusive, and you're not going to attract a healthy partner. I love you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.